Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Don't you mean the Okami reboot?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, didn't Okami come out, right after Twilight Princess, though?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. No, I think it was before,
Oh,
technically.
yeah, you're right. I think, I think Okami was late PS2. Let me...
Yeah, so I think that came out before
originally.
this.
Yeah, so I remember that, they were compared
just
highly
a few
of each
months.
Wow.
Okami was April of 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's closer than I thought.
considering how much development time there was, it might have started development
After Twilight Princess, though.
After Twilight Princess, though. Oh, look, it's the best character in the game, and in Zelda, and in everything. I love you.
Partner-wise, there's literally no other competition, so the only option is Midna.
Well, there's the fairy who says listen a lot. There's the sword who's a robot.
Yeah,
there's another fairy.
Tattle
is good.
Tattle's the closest we get.
Tattle was like a precursor to Midna, if you think about it.
Yeah,
Little
Tattle
bit, yeah.
had some sass in her.
Yeah,
I liked her.
Yeah, but Midna's 500% sass.
Midna's a bitch, and I love it.
Yeah, she's...
Midna's great, and probably the most well executed aspect of this game's tutorial side is that her function is the same as all the other partners, to tell you when and how to do things. Basically, she's your handholder for the game, as the other partners are, but she has so much goddamn character and plot significance to her that it's just a joy to be around her and learn more about her as the game progresses, and there's excellent payoff there too.
It's
So
a
It
hand
really
that
does
you
help that she's
enjoy
not a glowing
holding.
ball with wings.
that too,
Yeah.
But Nintendo 64. Also, the giant frickin' hand that comes out of her head.
See, the hand that you enjoy holding. Literally
Yeah.
coming out of her head.
It's also
The
her
one that
hair.
could crush you into a million pieces. Step on me, Midna. I mean, what?
You said that.
Wait, oh
I don't think Midna stepping on anything would be particularly effective.
Oh, yeah,
at
Ride
anything.
Link, Midna. Yeah, you do that, girl. I mean, what?
It's come to us getting weird.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going based on how her design looks, it looks like she has Fire Emblem Awakening feet, as in they just kind of disappear.
No, she has feet.
I know, but visually it looks like Fire Emblem Awakening, where their feet just kind of go into the ground.
No, she has more feet than that. If you actually look, she has ankle joints and everything. See?
Yeah,
you can see them really well from this
no. They're
angle.
just teeny tiny.
They're tiny,
Yeah.
but they're feet. They're not robot pegs like
Size 1 inch.
like the Awakening characters have.
So one thing that I really like about this point in the game, though, is that Midna is purposefully unlikable, but they do it well, and that's a hard thing
Not
to do.
That
necessarily
is a difficult thing to
unlikable
do.
is the wrong word. It's kind of that entertaining jerk factor that you get with characters like Gregory House.
Well, that's more. I'd say that's more so through the mid to later parts of the game. Like in this part, she's just straight up mean to you. Like she's pulling on your ear and calling you a moron and stuff like that. Like the first example I can think of off the top of my head is Tales of the Abyss. That game is. I have such complicated thoughts about that game, but Luke is the main character of that game, and in some parts of that game he's a well-written, unlikable character, and in other parts he's
They
just
push
an
that envelope a
unlikable.
little bit much, definitely. But I don't feel like they push it that much with Midna.
No, that's what I'm saying is that they purposefully make it clear that she only cares about you as a point to you are able to help her get what she wants.
You're a means to an end. Yeah.
Which makes the later parts of the game much more satisfying when,
Yeah.
she becomes non-tsundere, or however you say that.
Well, no,
That
she's
phrase.
still. Well, no, warming up is still being tsundere. It's just the other half of tsundere.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But anyway, she's just...
Because right now she's all soon.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, her character design probably helps with that a little bit because she's a really cool-looking character. So,
Oh, yeah,
it's hard to hate her or dislike her right off the bat because you look at her and it's like, oh, this is really cool. I want to find
yeah,
out more.
Although, it's really weird seeing her in those brief cutscenes where she doesn't have the hat on. Because
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
weird.
seeing her with both of her eyes and with such a missing amount of space around the head is just bizarre.
Yeah, she's very clearly designed to have that hat on.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, granted, it's only for a brief scene, so it's not like it's an issue.
I
It's
guess
Yeah,
they
of
chalk it
course.
up to a magical creature sort of thing, but she like purposely blinds one of her eyes because of that damn thing she wears.
yeah, I mean,
Yes,
it's a cool hat, dude. It like holds all of
Yeah,
the
no,
sealed
but
dark
like if I had
power
a
of the
cool hat, I
cosmos.
wouldn't purposely blind one of my eyes just to wear it.
It's no soda drink hat.
No, it's no soda drink hat. No.
If you've got a wolf to ride around on and you never have to do any of the hard work yourself, then you don't need that depth perception. You know, it's like wearing there's actually, I forget which pirate there was, but you know how pirates wore eye patches. It wasn't always because they were missing an eye. Some of them wore an eye patch so that they could build up the chemical crap that goes into your eyes so that you can see better in the dark, so that they could switch eyes when they were raiding dark ships, like in
Yeah.
the middle of the night or whatever. So
Or going down below deck where there's no light.
yeah, exactly. Because you're not gonna light a lantern in a wooden ship. So yeah, I mean you could, but we'll see how well that goes for you.
That would end very poorly for everyone involved.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if we're talking about Zelda, you can throw as many bombs as you want on Tetra's ship, and nothing bad seems to happen there.
They're weak
so you
bombs.
know. Okay, good point.
It's not actual wood.
Well, then what is it, John?
It was,
Vinyl.
yeah.
Okay, the Tetra's ship vinyl Funko Pop coming to you in 2000 and never.
Thank God.
Have there been has Nintendo done Funko Pops yet?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Wouldn't they
good.
rather do the I mean, what's the Japanese equivalent to it again?
Amiibo?
Tsum
Like
Tsum?
the no. They're like it starts with an N.
Nendoroids?
Nendoroid.
Oh yeah, they've
Nendoroids,
had
yeah, there you go.
they've
Yeah, they have
had
plenty of Nendoroids.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'll buy those because clearly more effort is put into those than Funkos.
Yeah,
Funko's
but
creepy
they're also-
out.
Funkos are the laziest things.
There are some that are really good, I feel, but a few of them kind of just the eyes. Pikachu
I
is
just don't
something
like
else.
the basic mold. The mold of it just screams lazy.
Yeah, but you also get what you pay for because they're like $10 and a Nendoroid's like 80. So you know.
This is true.
Well, I mean they're probably less if you're in Japan because you have to ship. But
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
but you know, like the droids become like with different facial expressions, so I get Link and slightly constipated Link.
So anyway, Wolf. Do people like Wolf Link
I
or
do.
not?
He's fine.
It,
I like him.
it functions. I don't hate it, but I like the utility of Human Link. Wolf Link is just a little too basic most of the
I
time.
like the speed of Wolf Link.
I like going into town and scaring everyone with him.
Wolf Link
my
is
favorite
more
part.
worthwhile as a gameplay mechanic later on in the game when you can freely switch between human and Wolf Link.
Honestly, I think because Zelda does this two worlds kind of thing a lot. Like half the games practically have this whole you explore the world in one way and then you do it in another way.
Yeah.
Like I think that this is probably my favorite out of all of them. Like I mean, granted, there's like the young and old thing in Ocarina of Time. I'm not really a big fan of again, just because of how much of a pain it is to switch between the two.
Well, you
Link
don't
to the Past-
you don't have to do it too much in Ocarina of Time.
Unless
It's more
you're
that.
playing Master Quest.
Well, yes, unfortunately, Master Quest is unfortunately its own different can of worms.
Nice.
The time travel mechanic in Ocarina of Time isn't the best, but it's not the worst either, mostly because it's functionally just acting as the second half of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that, I guess in terms of puzzle solving, Link to the Past probably maybe has a few more interesting scenarios with that because there's more to think about in terms of changing the world between the two different forms as opposed
Only
to...
in terms of like getting into the dungeon. Inside the dungeon, not really.
Yeah, well, you can't really switch between worlds in a dungeon, so...
No, but it's something I think they would have done if they had the feasibility to do so.
Does, like, Metroid Prime Echoes... I know there's not dungeons in that game, but does Echoes do something
The
like
Echoes
that?
does it all the time.
Yeah, which unfortunately makes it kind of annoying to explore when you're just trying to find that one thing you missed.
Only Sky Temple Keys is when it gets really annoying. Otherwise, it's interesting. It's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just done in, like, every Zelda game, so, you know...
Yeah, it's pretty much a signature Nintendo stamp at that point.
Yeah, but thankfully...
I mean, Breath of the Wild doesn't really do it. It's technically
yeah,
a
but Breath
Zelda
of the
game.
Wild 2, Wild Harder, will probably... If it doesn't, I'm gonna be I'm going to be surprised because they can go, look at how big our world is, and it's twice as big because we can do it. You explore it twice, and it's like, yeah, like that's an easy way to double double your mileage.
They did
True that,
for
true
Breath of
that.
the Wild. Then imagining like 120 shrines in both the light and dark world.
Oh God.
Okay, now you get 1,800 Koroxy.
and you still won't have enough spirits to get a full life bar or a full stamina bar, and a full
Why-
stamina bar.
Why did they only give you?
Because
They
you
only
have
gave
to
you
make
one
the
more
choice,
heart.
Ted.
No, but there are enough temples in the DLC to give you 3 more hearts. They only gave you 1 more heart. Why? Why did you do that? I'm sorry. I mean, the motorcycle is a good makeup gift. I will say that. That is
It's a
true.
start.
It's a start. Yeah.
Man.
So did we? How long was Link unconscious? Because he was dragged all the way to Hyrule as a wolf.
I mean,
like-
if the game is anything to go by, they distract him about 10 minutes maybe.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they also don't have a horse. They're like shadow people.
Well,
Or
the shadow
whatever.
people can also teleport between wormholes, so
Yeah, but the wormholes don't technically exist.
no,
at
they
this
do.
point. Well, no, because every time they appear, the people drop out of one, and then it stays up there.
Yeah, but Zand had to be able to make one to send them there in the first place.
My impression of things is that when an area of the world is engulfed in twilight or whatever, the result is sort of like they're semi-frozen in time. So it could be any length of time, and it wouldn't actually really matter.
I don't think time freezes. I just
Well, for want of a better description, I should say.
They certainly don't have any idea about what's the heck's going on.
yeah.
Like, because they're all confused.
They're
Like,
free to move. It's just that I don't know what they're seeing exactly. Most of them are just terrified out of their mind.
Yeah, like I don't, because it's just kind of yellowy when you go in as a
Yeah,
wolf,
and it could just
or-
be a passing sandstorm.
Wait, no, I'm not.
No, not
I'm
that
not
sandstorm. The other one.
Oh, okay. All right, let's camera.
I do like
let
this
me-
sequence for as linear as it is, where you're just like running around the
Nope.
or
Nice.
falling to your death from
Oh, no.
the rooftops in
Oh.
Just wait.
in Hyrule Castletown. It gives this
Oh no.
son of a
It's like I think I was trying to press A to climb up.
It breaks my heart.
Wait, no.
I didn't
Oh,
know you
you
can come
live.
back.
What?
they programmed this
Oh.
to have collision.
Well, you're just
Okay.
kind of screwed now.
Yeah, you kind of screwed now. You just got to fall down.
That's the
Yeah, but
worst.
it's cozy. It's cozy
I
up
think
here.
Midna was like, "Way to go, dumbass."
No,
Oh, that'd be
no,
great.
not dumbass. Dumb fuck was my
Dumb
ancestor.
fuck. Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, that's my dumb fuck was my father. Please call me senpai.
Okay, so what I was saying is I really like this portion where you're running around on the rooftops in Castletown, because it actually does actually give the castle and the town surrounding it a sense of scope it didn't necessarily have before this point.
Wait, rooftop run. Dun, 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 dun.
I kind of hated it because of the birds. The birds annoy the heck out of me. Like, I definitely dislike them.
Yeah, the birds were annoying. The most impressive thing about the castle, though, is that when you come back later on for the finale, the castle itself, although you don't necessarily explore much of it, has a huge sense of scope that makes it feel like a really fitting final area.
Oh yeah, the Hyrule Castle's a great dungeon, but I mean that's a good 60 parts from now. So you know. All right.
Let's
so
talk
anyway,
about that right now.
Oh well, I mean we have before, but anyway, this is probably the least consequential Zelda in the entire Zelda multiverse, the heck
Yeah.
it is.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, when people first saw The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess as a title, the assumption was that Twilight Princess would be Zelda. Because,
Midna
you
even
know,
refers to her as such, like throw you off.
Yeah.
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 It's,
She is. I mean, aside from 8-bit Zelda, she is the
Yeah.
most inconsequential one.
yeah.
I would
well,
oddly enough, I'd have to say the most interesting Zelda is probably Spirit Track Zelda, mostly because she's a sassy bitch the entire game.
The most entertaining Zelda, yes. Interesting, I would say Skyward Sword. and
Yeah.
Really, Skyward Sword?
but
Well, she has
listen,
a lot of
Skyward
personality in
Skyward Sword for
though.
his many issues it has with its structure and pacing does characters really well.
Yeah,
I completely
absolutely.
disagree.
To
but
be
whatever.
fair, okay, Skyward Sword Zelda was written pretty well for what she was, but she's also another one of those Japanese pop culture cliches that's been done 60 bajillion times.
I love the main hero, even though we've done nothing to show why I like him.
Yeah, because they grew up together, Ryan. Gosh, they did that character development off screen.
I have
so we
plenty.
could get to the good part.
I have, dude. I have plenty of female childhood friends, and not a single one of them have fallen for me.
Well, that's your problem.
Well, that's because you're the Ryan. That's because you're the comic relief character, and John's the main character. Gosh.
I was actually referring more to the whole she's going on some weird purity quest behind the scenes while the hero is doing all the fighting, catching up with her, kind of thing. Which, wow, it occurs to me that even Final Fantasy VII did that for about 10 minutes. That kind of thing is kind of all over the place in Japanese pop culture. It's another one of those. It's kind of like the Final Fantasy X Summoner, which also happens to be mostly identical to what happened in what was it, Tales of Symphonia? I think it was Tales of Symphonia.
Tales of Symphonia and Final Fantasy X are the same plot.
That just means I have to play
what's the
Final
name of
Fantasy
that
X.
Chrono Trigger type game? It's slipping my mind at the moment.
I am Setsuna.
I Am Setsuna, that's the one. Yeah.
Also,
same
just
plot.
as an aside, I hope you enjoyed the throne room statue thing of Denneru in February, because it's the last game they're ever mentioned in.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Really?
sort of Breath of the Wild. The dragons are named after them.
Technically, yes, but the goddesses
Yeah.
themselves are never around
Could be
because
just a
no, it's it.
reference.
Because Skyward Sword, they got a new writer, I think. Someone else was in charge of plot, and he, I guess, doesn't like a lot of the plot stuff from previous Zelda games, so he just ignored a lot of it.
So, no, Ryan, you see, this is a commentary on modern theology.
No, it's
where where more modern religions ditched the idea of a pantheon of gods to
God,
go for a
that's-
simpler one god approach.
I thought it was a commentary on Twilight Princess.
They're a commentary on Twilight Princess.
We are in a commentary on Twilight Princess.
No, Ted said it was modern theology. And you know what? Modern theology is overrated. I like classic theology.
Yeah, classic theology has a much better level design.
Yeah.
Yeah, but modern theology brought the first-person shooter back into the spotlight, so you know.
Yeah, but green eyes though.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all referencing
Yes,
this.
yeah. Anyway, I think a big thing about why this Zelda just feels so inconsequential is because she is given very little screen time.
Is there a
like-
reason she was wearing a hood?
It was cold in her room.
Yeah. Lewis, look at all the bloom. It hurts your eyes.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Zelda, did you just put a bottle of Vaseline on your face and forget to take it off?
This is actually the first bit of pleasant character that Midna shows is for half a second she looks genuinely concerned about Zelda, and then tries to sort of brush it off by putting a spin on how pleasant it actually is to live in Twilight.
Yeah. It's just weird that this Zelda ended up being the design that we'd see for so long, though.
I mean, she's really pretty.
It's a nice and fairly intricate design for the character, and it's not significantly different from what we've seen in the previous games. It winds up just looking like a more detailed Ocarina of Time Zelda, so
Slightly more
it makes
brunette.
sense that they would go for it.
Yeah, with darker hair, basically.
Yeah, and we only really had Ocarina, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker at the time. And I don't think I'm pretty sure people would love to see Tetris design back in Smash. I'm not really sure we want Toon Zelda.
Well, I think Toon Zelda was canceled with a cut character for Brawl. I think it was.
It's like the
Was she?
Forbidden Five or something. It's like Toon Zelda, Plusle and Minun, and a couple of other people were apparently in the files, but not.
It's just
really, or
ultimately
Interesting.
Tetra feels like the character that Zelda should be, and the Zelda design for that Zelda is kind of just it exists. It's an afterthought, but it really just looks like a crudely drawn version of the Ocarina of Time Zelda. So,
Okay, so anyway, this place is cool and all, but I want my kibbles. So, do you have some?
Bacon strips.
I will say that
Make it.
I will say that the time you spend as Wolf Link in this beginning section overstays its welcome just a little bit.
Well, it doesn't bother me that much because this part of the game is more interesting than maybe some of the town stuff. Like, we were just getting a wicker basket and fishing and stuff earlier, and here where there's intrigue and what the hell's going on.
I think
and
it's just
Midna's
that
being
it took
sassy.
so long to get to this point that it makes it feel longer than it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like you're kind of biting at the bit to get to something a little bit more actiony, but
Well, a little bit more substantial gameplay wise.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of stuff here and there, but I want to start exploring, getting to a dungeon, using items and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
We
the
got a
thing.
lot of exposition here too, so it's not like it's a lot of plot. It's a lot of reading the Wikipedia article to understand the plot.
Yeah, that's the thing with this with the opening section. We got the forest and the wolf link section, and those have substantial amounts of combat. But the combat in Zelda, as I said earlier, is pretty basic. The gameplay doesn't really start to shine until that combat is mixed with the adventure elements a bit more, which means more exploration stuff. And to be fair, this next section, as the wolf in the town, has a lot more of that. But it doesn't really hit that sweet spot that Zelda is known for until all of the elements come together in the first dungeon.
I'm just
Well, at
enamored
least
that
then it hits
Midna
the
pulled
ground
a
running.
Mario RPG to convince Link to continue with the adventure, transforming into other characters to tell a story. I dig it.